Hey everybody, this is Mike. I am back and we are jumping right in. I'm in Nomad Sculpt on my tablet, and this is one of the secret projects. I wasn't going to release this video because this was a secret project. I didn't want to share it. I wanted to keep it close and quiet. But then I realized two things. One, nobody's going to see this video. And two, if I'm making miniatures for anything and I'm not getting a cease and desist from Games Workshop, I'm obviously doing something wrong. So here's the beginning of a project. Well, this is kind of midway in the this is almost finishing the project. By the end of this video, oh yes, pre-recorded. I'm recording the audio on my phone. More on that in a moment. And sped it up so you didn't have to watch me fumble around with a program I'm not very familiar with. But by the end of this video, I feel pretty confident that I can get a decent mini off of my printer. Plan is to print in filament. These, I'll probably do resin. Just for the details, just to see how it turns out. But I really like the idea of pushing the limits of filament printers. So I'm probably going to switch over to a 0.2 millimeter nozzle, set my details as high as I can go, and run it. But this isn't designed to be a 28 millimeter miniature for tabletop use. This is designed for painting. This is designed to, well, I don't want to say honor Bob Ross because he probably wouldn't. I don't know what he would think of this. But this is, the idea is the armor pieces, the shield. Well, the shield is supposed to look like a palette with some streaks of paint on it, but it's a shield. But it's for mixing paint. You'll see that in a little while. But why couldn't somebody have a mini, kind of honoring Bob Ross, where instead of, in the future there is only war, put some happy trees on the armor. Put some fluffy little clouds. Give him some friends right over here. Make the armor look like Bob Ross paintings. Wouldn't that look cool? I don't know, but I intend to find out. Can I paint like Bob Ross? No. But I'm willing to try. So, the plan is, print these probably, getting away from metric for a moment because me. 3 inches, 4 inches maybe? Even 6. Give me some room to paint, give me some room to work. Because they're not for tabletop gaming, they are for display. I say they, getting ahead of myself here. Let's see. So about a year and a half ago, me and some buddies on Discord were playing with a Discord bot that did AI image generation based on a prompt, of course. And I want to say, if memory serves, one of them was generating 40K Sisters of Battle bodies and armor with actress faces and heads, some of his favorite actresses. And I started messing around, just, let's take this a different way. And at some point I did Bob Ross as a Space Marine holding his trademarked obligatory 4-inch brush with a palette for a shield, and it turned out awesome. And right away I said, I want a mini of that so I can paint it. And one of my buddies said, well, get on that, because out of the group, I'm not going to say I know the most about Blender, but I've done the most blending. I chose not to get into Blender and start modeling Bob Ross as a Space Marine. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you know the work I was doing with Henry, along with some other models that I have not shared, with taking an AI image, turning it into a 3D model using Maker World Maker Lab, and printing. That's the plan here. I used AI to create a new Bob Ross as a Space Marine. Took the image into GIMP, did some cutting, pasting, copying, blurring, cloning to give it feet, changed the brush, took it into Blender and put a sphere on its head so that it actually had some hair, because the AI decided that Bob Ross's hair was actually a flat hat, and it would not give me a flat brush. It had to be one of those little conical, I forgot what they're called. So I had to do some tweaking. Then I took it into Maker World Maker Lab, got a model, but it definitely needed some. I mean, the sphere for the head became just a sphere for the, well, because I blended that, it didn't turn out quite right. So kind of shaping some hair here. The armor turned out pretty decent. There's some nice detail. But again, this isn't for, this isn't a professional quality. I am not a professional sculptor. I barely know how to use Nomad Sculpt. But by the end of this, I have something that I think would be cool to paint with some Bob Ross style scenery on the armor. So that's the plan. As for recording this on my tablet, speeding it up, pre-recording and then dubbing over the audio with my phone, and then I'm going to transfer the audio file over. Remember back when YouTube was just anybody that could produce moving pictures and didn't have a broadcast degree could upload videos? I'm kind of nothing against all of that. I mean, I love watching the production values on YouTube, but I don't have access to all that stuff. I don't have a $1,000 microphone, and I'm not here for the let's get 1 million subscribers. I don't care if I get 5 subscribers. I am documenting for my own personal accountability that I am working on stuff, rather than just jotting it in my planner that, hey, I accomplished this on March 17th. I am making a video trail of my accomplishments. Oh, here's a perfect example of me trying to use the tools that I don't know how to use to try to put some definition on a hand that will be almost impossible to paint anyway without cutting the shield off. Oh, that's terrible. I recorded this a couple days ago, and now I'm adding the speech. So hopefully I smooth that out a little bit. But again, behind the shield, under the cape cloak thing, and it doesn't have a hood, so it's a cape. It's going to be really hard to get a brush in there, so I'm not overly concerned. What did I do there? Oh, I'm trying to make that area smaller. And there's supposed to be ways to mask and shrink areas, but I don't know how to use them yet. So this is me that's why I sped it up. Because how I'm doing this hand is ridiculous. In Blender, it would have been a completely different story. But yeah, so Bob Ross is a Space Marine. It's not a great idea, but it's something that I would really like to try painting. And I plan on releasing these to the public until such time as Games Workshop says, no, you can't do that. Why are there 3 capes? I did not do that. The AI did that. The Maker Lab AI did that. Probably be cutting some of those off for painting purposes, but kind of looks cool. But there's no way to paint that. See here, I'm trying to make it look like Bob already tried mixing some paint on his palette shield, which I should have left that alone and let the end user paint it however they wanted. But it's done. I screwed it up. And that's what I ended up with by the end of my sculpting session. Doesn't look very Space Marine-ish, but it looks okay. I can't wait to paint it. Here I'm decimating to get rid of some triangles. And we are almost done. So, I will leave you with that. Hope you like the model. Hope you like what I've been working on. And I hope the video isn't too whatever. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.